In a city shrouded in fog and mystery, an ancient cemetery lay forgotten on the outskirts, its gates rusted and gravestones crumbling under the weight of time. The townsfolk avoided the place, speaking only in hushed tones about the legends surrounding it. They called it the Restless Ground, a place where the dead were said to rise on nights when the moon was full and blood-red. It was on such a night that a group of friends, fueled by arrogance and alcohol, decided to venture into the cemetery. They laughed at the warnings of the elders, mocking the stories of the dead who walked again. Armed with flashlights and bravado, they pushed open the creaking gate, stepping into the cemetery as the wind carried an eerie, hollow moan. The air grew thick and cold as they wandered deeper among the graves, their laughter fading into uneasy silence. The moon cast a sickly light over the tombstones, illuminating names long forgotten. The fog curled around their legs like grasping fingers, and every step seemed to echo louder than the last. Then, the whispers began. At first, it was faint, a soft rustling, like the wind through dead leaves. But as they pressed on, the whispers grew louder, more distinct, carrying with them a sense of dread that clawed at their minds. The words were incomprehensible, a chorus of voices layered upon one another, each filled with pain, sorrow, and something darker, rage. "Did you hear that?" one of them asked, his voice trembling. The others nodded, their eyes darting nervously around. The whispers seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, surrounding them, closing in. Suddenly, a scream pierced the night, a raw, agonized sound that froze the blood in their veins. They turned to see one of their friends, eyes wide with terror, clutching his throat as if something invisible was choking him. He fell to the ground, his body convulsing, and then lay still. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, filled with malice. The ground beneath their feet began to tremble, and from the earth, skeletal hands began to claw their way to the surface. The dead were rising, their empty eyes glowing with a ghostly light. The air was filled with the sound of moaning, an otherworldly chorus of suffering and despair. Panic set in as the group tried to flee. But the fog was thick, and the cemetery was a maze of tombstones and crypts. The dead closed in, their bony fingers grasping, their whispers turning to guttural growls. One by one, the friends were dragged into the earth, their screams echoing through the night, mingling with the moans of the undead. Only one managed to break free, running blindly through the fog, the whispers following close behind. He stumbled upon a mausoleum, its heavy doors ajar, and ducked inside, slamming them shut. But the whispers were relentless, seeping through the cracks in the stone, filling his head with their venomous words. "Join us, join us." He covered his ears, but it was no use. The whispers were inside him now, echoing in his mind, driving him to the brink of madness. The mausoleum was cold, the air thick with the scent of decay. He could feel the presence of the dead all around him, watching, waiting. Then, he heard it, a soft, gentle whisper, different from the others. It was his name, spoken with a tenderness that made